Today, on This American Dice, Ishi faces off with the Thunder Guard and Yogo Osako over who can or can't interrogate the assassin Jaw. Aji faces off against the man who accuses him of standing in the way of finding Naritoki's killer, the man who has scarred Aji before. And the magistrates are able to find some answers to questions that have been dogging them. Check it out today on This American Dice.
When we left off, Yugure had a run-in with Jaw. He used lightning magic to kind of shoot it at him. Jaw stumbled away, and Yugure tried to help some wounded and dying Thunder Guard. Eventually, Jaw ran into Ishi, and Ishi essentially tackled him. And so Ishi's kind of tying up Jaw, and while that's going on, I think maybe we, the audience, saw Yogo Osako and two Thunder Guard kind of approaching on ponies, and they kind of dismount, and we see that she has a naginata that we hadn't seen her have since Matsu Fukushu attacked people in the fisherman's quarter. But I'm going to start things off. Could you make a love roll, Ishi? We don't have you do that too often.
Yeah. I think it's generally a bad sign when you just let it roll out, let's be honest here, boys and girls.
Well, it's not a good sign for almost anybody.
Yeah,
play this game
extra
stuff.
bad.
Hey, that's not bad.
That's good. No, that's good.
So you get another. So you fill up another love box since you rolled a 3.
Yep.
So you fill up another box.
You only fill in RE?
Nope. Yeah, and you'd have to have 4.
Yeah, that's a whole bunch.
7. All right. Yogo Osako. You hear the voice of Yogo Osako. I think you're busy tying up Jaw with maybe a cord from his own armor.
Sure.
Which is haphazardly put on him. It's a lot of the buckles aren't clasped properly. He's not wearing a shirt underneath it. And you hear the voice of Yogo Osako, that kind of dead monotone voice, and you just hear, Jaw, you're under arrest for assaulting the Thunder Guard and for murder.
Does he say anything when you come to his feet with his gagged mouth?
He's just kind of going, I think he might be, if he's conscious, it's barely conscious.
Yeah.
So, and the two Thunder Guard samurai come over, and they kind of, if you're still tying this guy up, they kind of help you tie this guy up, and Yogo Osako looks down at this guy and says, all right, well, this one is easy enough.
Yes, I believe Yugure wanted to question.
She says, "There's no need for that. We already know everything about this man."
We have many open cases that I believe he has information of.
And she says, "This man has to come back to the civil hall, be interrogated, face trial, all rather open and shut."
I'd like to read her.
Sure.
This is a familiar situation.
Yeah, this is a very, every time I see you guys, I do something similar to this.
All right.
That's just a 7.
7. Not bad.
Where's the sheet? What's the thing? Here's the sheet. How could I get your character to let me take this man into custody? Into my custody. How could I get it to you?
Get the governor's say so.
Or kill her.
Where's Yugure?
So you guys helping those Thunder Guard.
Oh, you would like to help them? I forgot about that. Cool. We got about that.
So, and I think that these the two Thunder Guard, and they're guys from the Samurai Squad, which is a great name. They kind of haul this guy up to kind of carry him off.
I meant to do that at this point, but I still have my hand on this man, and I don't know what to do with this one. There's no good options.
And she says, "We'll give you a heads up on whatever information we find. But honestly, this man is a criminal. This is an open and shut case."
Oh no, of course. There's no doubt that this man needs to be taken to the hangman before dawn. It's just Yugure just has a way with the spirits that Leslie gets so much more information than even the torturers can get.
She says, really you know that's not admissible in a court. She'll say, no, it's not.
Even if it isn't, it will surely help us find new leads.
She says, again, this man is a criminal in this city. He's attacked Thunder Guard. We're going to deal with this.
No disagreement there. I just do not see why you're so insistent on not allowing us to talk to him.
I'm saying he'll be brought to the civil hall to be dealt with, to be interrogated. This trial will be almost unnecessary, but quick, and his execution coming soon enough.
I have not.
And she's sitting she motions to the guys to kind of pull him along and kind of try to throw him over one of these ponies. She says, this will be less unsightly as well.
I'm just trying to think.
He was running away from the cave, right?
He's nearly dead.
The Crab Caves is a neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's not a place. He was running away from.
I think so. Yeah. Because I was going to the Crab Caves and then he came out to meet me almost.
Yeah, you guys are probably somewhere in the Crab Caves. Yeah.
But I'm just trying to decide if this is. I'm just putting this out there for everybody to maybe say words if you would like. Is this worth threatening violence against Yogo Osako?
Oh.
Nope.
What are you hoping to get out of him anyway?
Well, he's an assassin, and God knows who he's assassinating for who. I'm super convinced this entire city is in this giant conspiracy with the governor.
I'm curious if he is the one who killed or organized Naritoki's death.
Yeah, he's an assassin, murders people. And then I know that Yogo Osako is just going to take him, not going to question him, just going to be like, alright, you're dead now. And kill him, and be like, well, he didn't say anything. He was too dead to say words. And that will be that. And that's just...
It's not his style. Different weapon.
It was just was it a bladed? I remember it was either spears or just katanas, I think, that were used to kill.
Yeah, he uses a big
sword. This is true. He may not be behind Naritoki, but what about Magda? What if this is the man that knows what the journal is?
You have the right of questioning, according to this, so you don't have to threaten her legally, or you don't have to threaten her bodily. You do it legally.
Legal violence.
So in the case of persons of inferior social class, so this is why we couldn't do it to Kimmy. I think I remember reading about this. But we can't do it to Kimmy, but inferior social class, station, or worth, Emerald Magistrate may arrest and restrain an individual for questioning about a criminal matter. He could try and do that, or argue that case, I guess. But then you're still just arguing that case.
I'm still just arguing that case, but I can be oh no.
You theoretically have the law on your side.
Through the word of the Emperor.
Surely there's no other interpretation of the law. I think that's true. For all worlds, fictional or otherwise.
I guess I'll go with that instead of immediately threatening violence. I was already trying to take this man into questioning when you showed up. Yogo, so I so weird to use the phone, but I ain't gonna do anything else.
Osako, yeah.
Sure. This is the duties given to me by the Emperor. To find men like this and figure out everything.
Common criminals aren't your purview.
I believe that he's more than a common.
So.
And that's why I need to question him. And I had already arrested him before you came here.
Haha. And this
is a lie.
What a lie.
Here we are. Alright. So I came up with a custom move for this exact matter. Go ahead and make an elegant roll. So when you make a legal accusation or push a legal issue that a courtier or that a high official does not like, go ahead and make an elegant roll. Hey, pretty good.
Hey, nice.
How about maybe it's 10?
10. So on a 10 plus, you know your stuff. Ask any of the read questions or get one experience.
Does that mean, as an extra to winning the argument, I guess?
You don't win the argument. It's just she doesn't completely shut you down.
Ask any of the read anything. I already know it's just about impossible for her to let me do this. Because I'd have to get the governor to be like, yeah, sure, dog. And that's not going to happen before he's dead.
Read a person or situation?
Either one. And either read moves or get an experience.
Ask a single question?
Ask any of them from either of the read lists.
Oh my god, that's fortunate for this shit. Elvis is.
And you could ask that same one again with a different how can I get you to.
What's the best way past Yogo Osako? What's the best way to get this man past her?
The best way past her?
She'd be like, how can I get your character to...
Yeah.
I thought you did first.
How can I asked her.
Get the governor to...
Yeah, which is in no-go.
The best way past her,
The best way.
aside from the governor, which I feel is giving you the same answer, so I'm not going to do that, is to talk to Tayo. Tayo's a scorpion. He knows this kind of stuff. He can figure this. He can figure out a sneaky way to do this.
So just
Give her the pitch.
let her take him and then get him back later? Is that what you're saying? This is the best way?
It might
I'm
involve...
a situation.
Yeah, it might involve having to make sure Tayo talks to her before anything bad happens to this guy. If that's what you think is going on.
Alright.
But if you also want to make sure, if you want to get this guy out of her hands.
Sure, alright. So yeah, I'll say, alright, but I'm going to escort him to the courthouse with you. Because
She
that's
says-
where I last knew Tayo was.
Do you say that?
Yeah, because I need to also speak to Tayo in there.
And she says, "That's fine. You have a courtroom there." And they head that way.
So nothing shady happens on the way, right? To this poor man, he's not stabbed.
I'll say no.
Okay, that's
You
good.
did well enough in that
Stabbed a
last
lot.
roll. Where is Aji?
Well,
Last game you just kept saying he's just at a bar.
This is the same night, correct?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. It's minutes from the last game.
I think it's reasonable enough time that I will return to the Civic Hall.
All right, and so you just went to a sake house.
Yes.
All right.
I
So
asked you if you got hired.
I think we should maybe have you make a love roll. Because most of the sake houses you've gone to have been places that are also opium dens, or at least are connected with someplace that can get
I
opium.
feel like every
Same
time
place.
Audrey leaves the house, he has to make a love roll. Be like, it's everywhere, opium.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Well, no, that's
Wow.
that's where
that's
you don't.
super
That's what you
bad.
don't want.
Oh, that's the opposite.
I sacrifice the health or position of an ally or family member in order to aid the object of my love.
Oh man.
All right. So it kind of sounds like you go get high somewhere, and thus, and like within the story, that will happen. I know, like go to the A lot of these, the way they're written, it all depends on like what your love is. But okay, yeah, I'm gonna throw this in happening sooner rather than I thought.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a scene of Aji. We kept having scenes of Aji just like in a bar drinking, and then looking upstairs at this sake house. And it's kind of a nicer sake house, but at the same time, it's maybe even the Emerald Cup, and so where he can drink, kind of he's hanging around, and then he can smell like the sweet kind of incensey smell of opium. And if he looks up, he could see the smoke kind of wafting out of a room as somebody leaves or goes into a room upstairs, and he's kind of staring at it, and staring at it, and staring at it. And we kind of have a little bit more of the scene with Ishi, and then we come back to him, and he's already smoked. Mm-hmm. And and so this is you. The wording exactly is you sacrifice the health or position of an ally or family member in order to aid the object of your love. All right.
So it doesn't come to our aid.
Right. I'm trying to have it happen where it's not just further writing him out of the scene.
I get you.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
It's like, aren't all the options like kind of like write the character out of the scene?
Oh, it depends.
Not really. Like if
And also it depends what your love is.
Yeah.
Is the other
if
thing.
I roll bad on any of that, it's Ishi goes on like a murderous rampage.
Oh boy.
I mean, hopefully not.
You haven't rolled that one yet, right?
I rolled a 3.
All right.
We're good.
So we'll come back to it in a minute. Yugure is helping these Thunder Guard, right?
Yeah.
All right. So like I said, of the 5 or 6 of these Thunder Guard, only one of them came away with like minor bruises and scrapes. At least. So if we say there's 6, One of them straight up was dead before you even arrived. One of them was so badly wounded, it was like, this guy's not making it out of this. Another dude was severely injured, the one that you helped, but I said, he's going to be retiring early. The other 2 people got wounded in such a way where we said, from now on, they're going to be at desk work, if that was a thing in this world. They'll have to get real easy assignments. But yeah, this is a really, you can tell pretty quickly, this is a really disgusting brothel. It's full of, like, people who don't have a lot of money. The place stinks like booze and sweat. And now blood, as there's blood all over the place. A bunch of, like, the rice paper walls and furniture are all torn up and destroyed. And we kind of see the carnage, and now all of these different, a lot of the Johns have maybe left, but some of them have kind of
whatever
come to see what's going on here, and a good number of the prostitutes who, if they had anywhere else to go, would they be here to begin with, are also kind of crowding around and seem very kind of like in awe of what's going on. Some of them had handed you like the gross, dirty bed sheets or rags that you used to bind these people's wounds.
I 100% thought this was caves last time.
No, the Crab Caves is a neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's where Lean Meat lives.
Yeah.
Not how
I thought that man lived on a barge.
I thought he lived in a cave.
Yeah. He's a crab. Crab cave.
Oh.
So I got kind of, I would like to ingratiate myself with these Thunder Guard to some degree. Like, hey, I saved this guy's life and helped you guys out.
I think the one dude who isn't badly wounded, I think kind of like goes to grab either some blankets or something like that and says, like, can you help me carry him back to the Dragon Tower, which is kind of their headquarters.
Oh, that's a cool name for a tower. So yeah, I'll do that. And then I'm like hopefully buddying up to them or to some degree. I want to find out what happened.
Ooh. Yeah, I think that's a manipulate roll.
All right.
Go for it.
Elegant. 8.
This guy's name is Ajo.
Oh, Ajo.
Not Aji, but Ajo. A-J-O.
Ajo. That's all I know.
What'd you get? You got an 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess what I want is for them to tell me what happened.
Right. And what kind of concrete assurance can you give these guys? He did just literally ask you to help him carry this dude.
Yeah, I will do that.
All right. So that's going to be kind of like you're going to be in that task for a while because this is
a long walk.
Yeah, it is. It's not that far of a walk, but it's enough. The Dragon Tower, which is connected to the Dragon Bridge, connects close by to the Crab Caves. So it's not the longest walk that you'd have to make, but this guy's so messed up, I don't think he can be put on a horse. He kind of has to be on a stretcher, essentially. And so you guys make a makeshift stretcher out of just blankets or out of a table or something like that and are carrying him. And you see some other Thunder Guard run to like you see some other Thunder Guard coming to that location as you guys leave. And the two that are wounded but not so badly wounded that they're dead or dying are, like, stuck around to talk to their compatriots who show up. And, of course, you see the ever-present Fire Eaters, who are the gang that controls the Crab Caves. And, yeah, you head back, and on your way to the Dragon Tower, this guy, Ajo, just tells you, you know, we were there to go arrest that guy and to go arrest Jaw. He's a criminal. So everybody knows that. And we went there, and we thought we could handle it, and we were wrong.
Do I get the sense that maybe he knows more than that? Read a person?
So I'm going to go ahead and tell you that yes, just because you succeeded on the thing. He'll give you that answer, but you could tell when he says arrest, and because you succeeded on the roll to get him to tell you this, I'm going to give you the truth of it. Rather than have you do a read as a separate thing. You know he means kill.
Okay.
They were supposed to kill that guy.
It's a special arrest.
Mm-hmm.
Special arrest.
It wasn't intended that they at any point bring that dude in. They knew he was going to resist,
Right.
and then it was like, oh, go arrest him. Well, arrest a guy who's going to resist with deadly force means kill this guy.
Yeah, bring all your weapons with you as you arrest him.
Right. Well, they would do that normally, but it's like they know, how this is going to go.
They've arrested people before. Okay. Well, I guess that's all. Like, he doesn't know much more about who this guy is or why he's being arrested.
I'll just tell you, he's a criminal.
Right.
So he's a criminal. He's in and out of in the book they say I had to cuff him, and I don't know 100% what that means. If that means to just like put this person in like leg irons, to put them in some kind of stocks, to throw them in jail for a brief period of time, to just beat them or whip them, like as in like to cuff somebody. So I'm not sure what it means, but this dude is the equivalent of like a guy who's in and out of jail all the time. So he's like, yeah, this dude's a criminal. Everyone knows it.
All right. Well, I guess I'm busy
So,
walking this guy on a stretcher.
So you kind of drag this guy back, and you get to the Dragon Tower. And the Dragon Tower, if you open it up to the map, is near the Dragon Bridge. Very, very back. Very last page.
This is going to take a while, starting one page at a time.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on. Shh. Table of contents. XI. XII.
Here, right?
No. You see that bridge that kind of looks like a dragon? And
Yeah.
there's a tower nearby it?
Yes.
That's it. And that's like the headquarters of the Thunder Guard.
You should go there and burn it down.
I'm going to take over. I'm going to
Whoa.
turn it into the Dragon Tower.
That's pretty good. That would interesting.
Yeah.
Dragon's Tower.
Yeah, when you get nearer to there, like within like easy sight of it, some more Thunder Guard come out and help you, and soon like kind of take this guy off. And Ajo like thanks you, and he'll just ask, "How did you do it?" He was dying.
Of I have communed with the spirits and allow them to work through me. It is not his time.
What's that like?
It is.
This guy's kind of dumbstruck a little bit. Like he just witnessed some really bad stuff,
A miracle.
and then later on witnessed something that we would describe actually as a miracle. Yeah, in this world, it's a little more commonplace, but not a lot more.
It's empowering and humbling. We all seek our own will in this world, but we also have to serve someone. You serve, the city and the Thunder Guard, and I serve the Emperor and the spirits. It's not a real answer.
That is a real
It feels
answer to a
like
certain
it.
degree. I think he's like, I think he says the equivalent of like, you could say that again, but it's a lot of it like kind of passed over him as he's like in a lot of big thoughts. But yeah, like you're kind of talking to him, and then eventually one of the other Thunder Guard comes by and kind of gets this dude and is like, kind of brings him in to be like, "Are you okay?" Kind of a thing. Why don't you tell us what went on? Because that other dude is most likely not conscious. The guy you brought in on the stretcher. And Ajo kind of goes off with them and looks back at you as he's walking away. It's very romantic.
Yeah.
I want Ajo to make a new appearance.
Yeah.
I have to figure out how to explain this to my wife.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, but yeah. So I think
All right.
I think that's where that ends, with that guy kind of walking into the tower. Meanwhile, Tayo had stayed at the Civil Hall to speak with Lean Meat. You kind of had another, well then, Lean Meat, fuck you, conversation. But then where did Tayo go from there?
I think the plan was to go find Aji.
To go find Aji. Okay.
So I think, when I remember, the plan was that the crab cave, something was going down, so I was going to collect Aji and go there.
Okay. Would he have a reason to know Aji, or where Aji is?
Who, Tyler?
I installed a tracker on his phone. It's easy.
There's ankle monitors going off again.
Just put your tracker on his
It's not
backpack.
tied to when he leaves his house. It's tied to when he enters a bar.
Okay.
Tyler probably knows, like, some places that I like to go.
So there's some various haunts.
I was thinking, check Teardrop Island and all that.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh man.
All right. Go ahead and make a.
We can, move past that. Interesting.
Well, no,
The issue is I'm going to find you, and you're like, see you, baby.
Yeah.
So, I think it is going to take you a while. You'll have to check a few places, and eventually you end up at essentially your bar, the Emerald Cup, and and Auntie will kind of like signal to you and kind of come over and be like, "Oh, Tayo-sama," or she would just be like, "Oh, my lord." I don't think she would address you by name. Like, "Oh, my lord," and she'll bow, and as she bows, she'll say like your friend the crane is upstairs.
I was just looking for him.
She'll be like, "He is here."
Alright. Maybe I'll join him and drink.
Oh, absolutely. I'll bring up some sake in just a moment.
I think we might be leaving soon. I don't know if that's necessary.
Oh, of course.
I think so.
Yeah. So this place is pretty calm. It's still the same deal as you were here earlier in the night, I think.
Yeah, I think this is where
Yeah.
Yugure met me.
Yeah, you and Yugure met up here. It's still the same deal. There's a lot of the strong-armed firemen that are hanging around. Auntie uses them as security. But again, they're not like hired security guards. It's just the kind of thing of like, if these dudes hang out here, it's a safer place from like kind of non-them criminals.
Dunkin' Donuts police discount, right?
Yeah, that kind of deal. So we're just like a biker bar. Like a biker bar is not the place you want to go in and cause trouble. But if you're part of that biker gang,
That's great.
you kind of can do whatever you want. This bar is also though connected to Bayushi Korchika as well. And so I think that possibly puts maybe some kibosh on that. And you already know that he still has a hold on this place.
Kibosh on what?
On some of the extra nonsense that maybe the strong arm might be much more like a rowdy biker gang in here.
Oh, but since they know it's...
But since they know it's him, they hold their shit together a little bit better. It's still a bar that they like to hang out in because drinks are cheap or free for them. But they don't go buck wild. So, but yeah, you already got that result from a couple games back.
Yeah.
You go upstairs, and Auntie has either cleared out some other people that were in this room or given Aji kind of his own room, and she can open this door for you. And thick, kind of incensey smoke wafts out, and lo and behold, there is Aji.
Taking a break, Aji?
Hey, man.
How you doing?
What you doing here?
Trying to find you, I think.
Yeah?
The other magistrates are in some trouble.
They need help? Let's go.
Is he, can I tell your
Yeah?
real high?
You want to read him?
Sure.
All right. Oh, is that a 6 or a 7?
7, yeah.
7. Okay.
I just raised it.
Yeah, you're really bad at that.
That's sagacious, right?
Yeah.
So you're reading them, right?
Oh, yeah, so I'll ask a question.
What's your character really feeling?
Yeah.
Hard.
Hi.
Yeah, I guess what's your character really feeling, right? Basically what I was trying to get at. What's your character wishing to do? No, I guess really feeling makes most sense.
My character feels happiness, and he feels
Euphoria.
euphoria. He does feel slight regret for getting high, but that's only because it's mainly from the drugs. He'd probably feel more regret if he wasn't high.
Interesting. So, based on that answer, I sort of know you're high then. So maybe Tayo's just kind of annoyed at this. Just like, well, why don't we get you out of here and then see if they still need our help?
Yeah, wherever you want to go, man.
So you kind of help him
Is
up.
this like nighttime? Kind of.
Oh yeah, it's definitely nighttime.
Okay.
So you kind of help him up, and he can kind of shuffle around, but he's definitely like half awake, half asleep, kind of thing. And as you kind of get onto the balcony to head down, you see that there's a man who's come in. For the most part, this place doesn't have a lot of samurai that are there. It's mostly merchants This isn't an area also where there are a lot of samurai that come here.
Right.
And you see a man who definitely has a full daisho, and he's wearing kind of a broad-brimmed hat. And the clothes that he's wearing, though, are kind of dirty. And as you kind of come down, you hear, "Kakita Aji, you traitor."
What are you talking about?
Is he wearing a mon or anything?
So his clothes are kind of too gross. And he takes the hat off, and you see that it's Kakita Ashidaka Michitaka. So, and he looks real pissed. And he says, "Get down here, Kakita Aji. You've prevented the investigation of what happened to my brother from going on for too long. You're a traitor to your clan and to your family. I demand satisfaction, Kakita Aji. You don't deserve that."
I don't know what you're talking about, Michitaka.
And he says, "Get down here and face me right now." I think some of these strong-arm firemen are to kind of go to get in the way of that, and I think one of them just gets cut down.
Oh, it just kills him?
Yeah. So the other guys kind of back up and look to you as what's going to go on here?
I have a quick question. Hi, you're supposed to be masquerading.
Yeah, as a sushi.
Do you have your katana on you and not armor, but kind of more in a combat style with him? Okay.
Yeah, I'll assume that.
I just wanted to know. We never talked about it. We never talked about it once you acted in Kabushi. I just wanted to bring it up.
Also true. Yeah, I have.
Anyway.
Yeah, I have that. I have the katana and the whole. Was it daisho?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this guy Michitaka starts to he puts his sword back into the saya and kind of starts to advance towards the steps and says, "Face me now, Aji. You don't deserve the name Kakita."
Alright, tell everyone to back off, to let me handle it.
Alright.
I'll face you, Michitaka.
You're so high.
Yeah, you are pretty high.
Yeah, usually I wouldn't.
Is that
Put a giggle in there.
not his opium high?
So we could have you do some kind of roll to figure this out, to see how well can you function. We could also just narratively say, you can't. It's up to you on that one.
Really high.
Narrative I can't.
Just narratively say that you're too high you're too messed up to fight. You do know that you can have a champion or a second fight for you.
I love it. You've done well. This is beautiful. Oh, so you've created.
It took a minute to piece together.
It's wonderful.
And he says, "Face me, you coward."
Can I have a champion?
Is that what you ask him?
Yes.
A Kakita duelist who needs a champion? You're not 70 years old, Aji. Who is this champion that you'd rather have fight your battles for you?
I think it should be Tayo. I don't think I can. I'm not at my strongest at the moment.
Are you Tayo?
Yeah, so part of the dueling thing is you also need your lord's permission, right?
So you're supposed to get, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go that route. I'm gonna say,
I would duel you, but
this is the time, another place. You're speaking to an Emerald Magistrate, and if you want to ask for the Emerald Champion's permission to duel him, then we can see what happens after winter. But just go drink some water, get out of here.
He says, I'm demanding satisfaction from my kinsman for his treacherous behavior. This is a family matter. If you're not his champion, then get out of the way.
That's right, Tayo. Get out of here. If you're not going to defend me, I will duel him myself.
There's so many bad ideas happening right now.
Alright. So, let's have you...
I don't want you to do that.
I'm going to have to duel him.
I don't want you to have to make the same roll twice, although it could work. Yeah, so the first roll is to defy the danger of being too messed up to function. So it is a bold roll, which is good, because you're good at that.
Yeah.
If there was a constitution score, I thought about having to do strength, but not bad.
I got a 10.
You got a 10?
Boy.
All right. You can kind of whip it together, kind of just shake your head enough.
A whip duel.
Yeah. You kind of widen your eyes and then narrow them. And you're like, you've been trained for this stuff. The chasing the dragon might put your head in the clouds, but your head's never too far from reality to know what's going on when swords are drawn. And so, describe this scene. You're in this bar. Where is it that you two are going to duel? On the steps, upstairs, down in like the little lobby area. Paint the picture for us.
I think it's just like a little clear area in front of the bar. Mm-hmm. You know, we don't need much room. It's just for one stroke anyway. And we square off.
All right.
I look her straight in the eyes, and I prepare to strike.
All right. And Tayo, from your perspective, you see these two guys, and Aji, who seemed real kind of like wobbly before, seems to suddenly move with great purpose as he goes down the steps, and these two guys kind of square off somewhat in front of the bar where Auntie is usually pouring drinks, or like usually initially is, where she then meets people. And
we know this is like his face scar happened, right?
Right, you guys know that Michitaka is the one who gave him that scar. And the two of them kind of square off with one another, stare at each other. You can see that their stances are almost identical. Mm-hmm. Almost as if they studied at the same school of stancing.
Yeah.
Stanislavski's stance school.
It's a good school.
All right. So when you engage in an Ijutsu duel, roll plus bold.
Another bold roll.
I know, it's...
Yes.
I'm not actually the worst at dueling.
No, yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's why when you were like, in Panther, it's like, hey, it's only a 0.
Hey, pretty good, right?
Like,
Yeah.
A lot.
I got a
14.
14. And do you have that advanced?
No.
The advanced isn't
okay.
even that good. You're just going
You just get the extra thing.
It's like,
Or the other two.
alright.
All right, so you get to pick 2 of those.
I'm gonna have to put you down, Michitaka. I inflict terrible harm, and I leave a scar.
You inflict terrible harm, and you leave a scar.
God damn, son.
All right. So where is it that you hit him? Because I don't think you kill him right away.
But
Just slash
give him the
whole
same
face
scar.
off.
Give him the scar that I have, but just on the opposite cheek.
Okay. You slice open part of his face, and he reels around backward. He reels around, spinning, and blood spatters all over the place. And you inflicted terrible harm, and you gave him a permanent scar. You said, right?
Yes.
All right. But this means you're also going to suffer 3 damage. Because you're fighting with 4-foot razor blades. He clutches his face with his left hand and has his sword in his right hand. Where did he hit you? I think blood is
3 harm.
Yeah, I think blood is just like pouring out of his face.
You guys scar twins?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe you like kind of like got him somewhere else on the chest, and so he's bleeding a lot. Like that seems to be like the big issue. Like a lot of blood is coming out of this guy.
So he thrusted me in my intestines.
Wow.
So he slashed open your stomach. All right.
Yeah.
So maybe you're holding your stomach, and he says, and he'll just say to you, like, you. And his speech is slurred as he's spitting up blood and that kind of stuff, and he has to hold part of his face closed. And he just says, he was your kin, Aji.
Yeah.
And you let his murderer go free. You are one of his murderers, Aji. And he keeps very specifically not, like, he's saying it in a way that's very disdainful.
No, Michitaka, you're the only one slowing down the investigation. You don't deserve... You cannot be here anymore. See, he's not going to die, right?
What's that?
He's not going to die.
I think he kind of keeps ranting on, or he's like, you took his position, you took his mistress,
Oh.
And
Sure.
and did nothing to help the family you betrayed.
Leave. You lost.
He says, there's more in me yet. And I think he kind of like runs towards you, or as best he can, to further attack you.
Okay.
So now, what's Aji's plan?
Nothing's gonna stop this guy. I'll make a battle roll.
All right.
Try to stop him.
What do we get here?
I got an 8.
8. All right. So on an 8, you choose 2.
Where I am.
I just inflict more harm and suffer little harm.
All right. So you take 2 damage.
Got that.
No.
Now you're gonna have to take a thing if you want to stay alive, right?
Yes.
You just hit 6, yeah.
Right, so you're gonna have to lower one of your rings,
Or just die.
or you could die.
I wouldn't die. Don't die.
That was Nee's choice in that one game.
Oh, that's right.
Alright.
I just picked any ring?
Yeah, theoretically,
You can
it would make sense for it to be narratively appropriate, but
you can always make blast narratively appropriate. You can always make blast
So
narratively
unlucky.
appropriate and just drop that down. Drop that blast
Yeah.
string and down to like -4.
It'd be. I do want to take it blessed. It'd be -2 to blessed.
okay. And
Your ancestors abandon you.
yeah,
Yeah. So like,
and Michitaka is gonna die. So what does that look like?
he's cut his out.
What? As he charges me,
Yeah,
I just raise my sword. And
because
let,
remember he cuts you in the process of this too. So
Oh, I like.
there is like a pitched fight, kind of, maybe for a
I
minute.
like. Anji had a thing going on.
yeah.
I think you're gonna say.
I think I'll just raise my sword also, and we can both impale each other.
Okay. Oh, so you both just run at each other and both like thrust your blades into each other's stomachs?
That's the opium.
And that might be it, actually.
That is it.
And he just isn't feeling it, and so like the two of them fall over. And you guys are like thud down, like face to face, like on the floor, and there's blood all over the place. There's a massive pool of blood forming around you guys, and Michitaka's face just turns like crazy pale, and he just whispers, like, "Why haven't you found this killer? Was it you?"
It wasn't me. I still swear to you that I'll try to find him.
Yeah.
Deathbed swears are no good.
Yeah, and he says, "Good, that's good," and he dies. So you bring this guy back to the civil hall. Mm-hmm. So he's on this horse, and Yogo Osako has somebody call one of the interrogators, the torturers, and one of the Eda shows up, and they bring Jaw, and they kind of slump him down into this room, and he's so beat up he's barely conscious. But they kind of tie him to one of these boards, and one of the things that Ada is going to have to do is kind of wake him up through this process, but he's going to go to work on that, basically.
Are they gonna weird to say? Are they going to let me watch?
It would be like an
super weird.
Yeah, it would be like
do that.
because this is
not
like
only saying that.
yeah.
It would be weird for me to do that.
So normally the deal is like the torturer does this stuff and then gives you this information. The torturer does this stuff and then gives you this information.
Do I have a moment to threaten the torture?
Probably not alone. There's probably a lot more Thunder Guard when you come back.
I can pull him close and whisper into his ear something along the lines of if this man dies while you torture him, you die too. I can just whisper that to this man real low, real quick.
Yeah, you could probably do that.
Quick little murder whisper. This man better not die while you torture him. What is this, strong? So it's an 8. So I don't know what this does. I think he can just be like, fuck off. I don't believe you.
And I think he'll say oh, and he again doesn't make eye contact as one of the Eda. He's one of the untouchables, essentially the pariahs. And he just kind of looks down at his feet and says, like, "Oh, my lord, I absolutely, I'll make every effort to make sure that he doesn't."
From my man.
All right.
Yeah. I don't think anything else is going to happen to him when he's being tortured. I think like too much of like a weird sin for these people.
Yeah. All right. So, okay. I think that's going to take a little while because this guy's essentially so beat up that they have to like wake him up to get him to where he can talk. And so that's going to take some time. Somebody who's going to try to get this information from the Edda or from Yogo Osako or from whoever, go ahead and make basically a read a person roll for this.
My plan was originally to be like, "Hey Tayo, help me." Like that was the whole plan. Was to get Tayo. So I figured out the best way to do it was using Tayo. I think you should roll.
You want me to?
Sure. Alright. So this is on information that you get as if you're reading Jaw, but you're getting this from the torturer. Not bad. What did you get? 11. Pretty good. Is read a person the one that makes the most sense? Could be read a situation. Could it be?
I also got an 11.
Because you're not interacting specifically with that person. Oh, so the torturer will come out and talk to you about this stuff and say like, "Oh, Jaw."
He's dead now.
And so like Yogo Osako is there, and then she'll say, and this is assuming you camped out there.
I did not leave this.
And so the torturer will come out and say like, he said that when he was to be arrested, he tried to escape and he killed those Thunder Guard to get away. So he admitted to a long list of crimes, and he'll read them off, and it's a lot of stuff like selling sake without any kind of permit, like robbing this person, and the big one, of course, is killing Miramoto Ogai.
What about Magda or any other samurai?
You'll say, "Oh, I didn't hear anything about Magda or other samurai."
Can you ask him?
Basically, like, this guy's done getting like all the information out of him. Like, he's gotten all the information out of him that he can.
Okay, but we should take this as fact, right?
So, I mean, you're basically using your read roll on this guy because Jaw is in a place where he can't talk really unless he's being tortured.
Is it a person or a situation?
A person is the one that makes the most sense because now you're having a conversation with this Edda. And again, he's like eyes on the ground, kind of. He's probably like in the prostrate position. Where he's like kind of like not looking at any of you guys.
And you're sure that these are all the crimes that he's committed?
And he says, as much as I could get out of him.
So you're positive that he's done nothing?
And this guy kind of really pauses for a long time and says, he's very, very close to death. I don't want to push too hard.
I look at him extra hard. I look at this Edda.
He does not even remotely make eye contact.
So am I asking them to the Edda or to the other guy through him?
I think you're asking. Yeah, this is a tough one because you're not actually having a conversation with Jaw. You're having a conversation with the Edda. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, to me, the easiest way to do this kind of thing would just be asking questions to him and just kind of narratively say,
"Okay, sure, that can kind of work out. This is a conversation you essentially had with Jaw, but through the Edda, and that's where this guy is good at his job, basically, of torturing people. That like you can force this information out of everybody." Sure, that works.
Okay. So, has he committed any other crimes?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, what about ones related to Magda or Naritoki?
Nothing.
Is he telling the truth?
Yes.
That's kind of all we need. What does your character intend to do then?
For Jaw?
die.
I got two questions.
He doesn't have any plans. He assumes he's dead. Yeah.
He's just gonna die.
So yeah, he doesn't. If you had asked him before he was being tortured, he would ask if he could kill himself before he got tortured. But now he's already been tortured, so now he's just going to die.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, so we don't really need anything else,
best.
right? I was mostly just trying to figure out if he was connected to those two.
I mean, the fact that he didn't kill Magda is disappointing, to say the least.
Was he hired to kill anyone else that we would know about in the city?
Who who's he working for?
What do you want to ask him?
I guess you know that.
Yeah, I think we knew that from before, right? It was just like a hired.
Like, does he have any outstanding contracts? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. We know who he's working for, right? Or is he just working for everybody?
He's working for a couple people. I think you know that he worked with Yogo Osako.
Mm-hmm.
And Yogo Osako doesn't want us getting that information.
Yeah. Subtle hired him to do one job. Oh, we know he killed Watchful.
Yeah, we know he killed Watchful.
But Watchful's not a samurai, right?
You know that.
Okay, you know that.
Tayo knows that.
Mm-hmm.
The other folks might be able to suspect it based on the description of him and the description of our murderers.
Boy, like that's all I have written down for.
Is that in the list of crimes that
No.
Edda?
No,
It's not.
God, this Edda. Oh shit, Lord. You can get anything. Got all this sake business, but nothing about the murders.
I guess would a good one be like, how could I get your character to admit to the other assassinations?
This guy doesn't have anything else that he knows he's gonna die. He knows he's gonna be executed.
Okay.
So yeah, this is a tough one because if this was and based on the description that Matsu Shigeko gives of him, this would make sense. Jaw isn't a person who's even remotely honorable. So if it would, like the idea of like, oh, an honorable death in any like that doesn't matter to this dude,
Right. So we're kind of just done with him.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's up to you guys. I don't want to say yes, but
Well, if we can't get him to do anything else and he's about to die,
Mhm.
I can't. Can anyone think of anything to do
Yeah.
before that?
Wait. I'll look at this. Oh, that's a good one. Might as well ask him if he knows anything about this. Why not?
I guess, but he didn't have anything to do with Magda. But sure. Did he mention any journal?
no, Jaw didn't. The Edda will tell you Jaw didn't mention any journal, and maybe we see shots of him like talking to Jaw as Jaw's being tortured, and we kind of cut back and like have the conversation between you guys and the Edda to show like you're talking, you're getting this information through him as a conduit.
Pulling fingernails off or something.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of that and like weird stuff. We'll say that like that interrogation takes most of that night.
Oh yeah.
So we have scenes of Ishi and Tayo were at the Civil Hall for that. Was Yugure also there, or did Yugure do something else? And also, I'm going to ask the same question of Aji as well, who's real beat up, which maybe is also a clue for Yugure as to what he's doing.
Yeah, I think I would have wanted to retrace my steps to meet up with Ishi somehow. So I feel like after finishing up at the Dragon Tower, I would end up at the Civil Hall.
Mm-hmm. So we see you there with Ishi and Tayo as well? Because we're just going to have like a brief scene, basically, of the execution.
Yeah, I think so. Although we didn't totally cover how Tayo got from the bloodbath to the Civil Hall, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know how that timeline worked out, but
Well, it took hours for the interrogator to torture.
Yeah.
To go long.
That basically took the whole of the rest of the night.
And then at the very end, Tayo came and it was like,
so maybe when Yugure and Tayo meet up, Tayo's like, "Hey, Aji could use your help," or something.
All right. So we see Tayo and Ishi kind of at this at the Civil Hall as these events are going on. Maybe you're back at the magistrate residence with the extremely wounded Aji.
Yeah.
And you get there as maybe you see like Edda like carrying off the corpse of a man who, by description, you're like, I don't think you've ever met him. So you're like, I have no idea who this dude is.
Just another dead samurai.
Right, because based on the description that's in the dossier, this guy looks entirely different.
Okay.
And so we see the sun kind of rise, and maybe 40 or so minutes after the sun rises, we see that like the Thunder Guard have kind of gotten ready on like a gallows that they have, and pretty soon you hear somebody kind of cry out. I guess it's Yogo Osako's job to do that, to kind of like some people who've assembled to see this, that, you know, the Ronin Jaw is guilty of murder, of theft, of attacking the city's rightful like law like law enforcement. And,
First thing on Sunday.
Yeah. And so she reads off this long list on this piece of paper, and she kind of doesn't look out at the crowd. She kind of reads this stuff off, and then he's hanged. But I think that I don't think it's super common for them to have like tall gallows. So most of the people are like strangled as they die.
And so it's like lift them up.
Jesus.
So I think they do have like a gallows that they're maybe pushed from, but they don't fall very far. And so they like the person is just kind of like strangled, but Jaw is he's so messed up and so almost dead that he doesn't make much movement, and the only kind of movement that you guys see is like when he kind of like shakes a little as he dies, and then that's there, and everybody kind of in the crowd feels very weird about it. Because it's like they almost hoisted up a corpse. Mm-hmm. And then when it actually became a corpse was when it moved. And so I think a lot of people are creeped out by that in the crowd. And you hear like oh.
You ruined my...
Oh, yeah, they ruined my execution feeling. God. So I'm not sure where that would happen in this city, where these public executions would go on. I want to say in the Merchant Quarter, near that super busy intersection. The seven corners.
Yeah. Sure.
It's close.
Is this the same? This is the next day after arresting Lean Meat too, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I think then that's probably the next thing.
Jesus.
Is that Lean Meat is then executed as well.
And you said fucking me.
Yeah, and so it's the same deal. She reads out like for the murder of Miramoto Ogai and for breaking the laws of the city and the emperor. And then, the same thing, whereas he is not tortured, and that is much more kind of what people were expecting, where you see this guy kind of like struggling. I don't think people are cheering. I think it's still a somber thing, but it was just very disturbing to see what happened with Jaw. Because, again, like I said, he was motionless as they did all these things.
She's probably getting a nice sense of closure from this.
So.
Who?
Yogo Osako?
Yeah, all her secrets.
All right. So we kind of like fade out on that scene.
City of Lies is Tone as Kakita Aji, Brandon as Hida Ishi, David as Bayushi Tayo, Andrew as Agasha Yugure, and Austin as your Game Master. The theme music for City of Lies is Mission of Danger by Lobo Loco.
Additional music for this episode of Ryoko Owari City of Lies includes The Depths and Quaalude by Cowpay and Petrichor by Midair Machine.
This American Dice Ryoko Owari City of Lies uses the City of Lies box set by Greg Stolz, published by Alderac Entertainment Group. The mechanics used is a modified PBTA system by Brendan Taylor of Galileo Games. Join us next time for more This American Dice.